Hello and welcome. Big shout out to some of the supporters. We're getting some good support from KG there, as well as many other members. Stotus, Perrins, of course, Magic DJ, and his girlfriend Annie Twinge. So that's awesome. Thank you all. I really appreciate everybody that's supporting me and been watching the YouTube channel and all that stuff. This video here is going to be on Strongest Lord. So this is the Strongest Lord event for Call of Dragons, and it is a huge event because the rewards for the Strongest Lord rank 1 is 200 tokens. So you need a total of, if we look at Lilia here, scroll to the bottom, you need 690. So it's almost 1/3 of the total amount of tokens you need to max out a hero. Now, I have one Strongest Lord for Emrys, so that's how I have my Emrys as 5553, is because I've one Strongest Lord for him. And then I also won Strongest Lord for Thea back in Season 1. So it's Emrys is the first two Strongest Lords, then Thea is the second two Strongest Lords for Season 1. And that's how I maxed out my Thea there, is by winning Strongest Lord. So currently, I didn't participate in the first Strongest Lord, but I am participating in the second Strongest Lord here. Just saved up my speed limits for this. So it will change the order of the days depending on which Strongest Lord in your season. It's not always the same. So for us, for the second one, it's training legions, darkling patrols, gathering resources, and then increasing your power. And then finally, it's the final stage where you can gain points through everything. Now, do keep in mind, for the specific training event, you gain more points. See, training level 5 units, I gain more points here, 100, versus day 4, I gain 2 points. Okay, and then day 5, you gain 80. See, train level 5 units, 80 points. Here, 100 points. So there's the difference. You gain more points on the specified days than you do on day 5. So you want to press your training speed limits on this day. So as you can see, I got 32k points on day 1, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did that for training. So starting off with training there, if you train 36,000 T3 Celestials, or your T3 of your flying, 36,000, that's the critical number. 36,000 T1 mages, 36,000 T1 swordmen, 36,000 T1 ballistas, your archers, and then 36,000 T2 knights. If you promote all of those units, so you would hit, for instance, you hit here, you hit the Legion up here, there'll be a button to promote them. You hit promote, and you promote them all. Promoting all of those will gain you 16,000 points. So 36,000 T3s, T1s, 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 T2s will gain you 16,000 points. And so by doing that twice over, I gained 32,000 points. So it's obviously going to be less training them from your T3 to your T4. It's going to gain you less points if you don't have T5 unlocked. Training them from T1 to T4, it's obviously going to be less points. But that's how I do it for training, and then I don't need to spend as many speed ups to get the points. How is that possible? Well, by playing the game, you're going to unlock, is it here? Where are we? There we go. You're going to unlock these bad boys. See, you're going to have there's level 2, there's level 4, there's level 5. So using a level 5 reserve legions, which you can also buy from the store here, Level 5, 90% off. So buying these level 5 reserve legions, if you have them using level 4s, that's what you want to do. Whatever's available to you, you want to use those, and then you can spend, for example, it's around 18 to 25 days for me to train up these legions. So that's why I didn't participate in the first one, but the second one, so I can spend 20 days training up legions, and then suddenly I've got a boost of 16,000 points on everyone else, and I haven't spent a penny on speed ups. So that's my trick for doing Strongest Lord for the training days, which is going to be the day of the highest amount of points possible, especially for someone who doesn't have science. Like my science is maxed out, right? Science is maxed out. All buildings are maxed out. They're all 25. So the only way I can get points is by training, and that's how I do it. So for knights, I believe it's about 18 days, and then for your archers, swordsmen, and your mages, it's 25 days, and then your celestials is around something like 15 days to train them up. 12 to 15 days to train up 36,000 of each of them and promoting them to T5. So that's how I go about getting a big boost, and now I'm getting more value than what other players are doing. They're having to spend more money to try and get the same amount of points. So that's for training day. That's my tip there on how to go about doing that. So how you can calculate it is minus the points. So training T1s give you 5 points. So those 5 points are already gone. So it's gaining 95 points there per each one. So if you train T4 units into T5 units, you get 60 points. So you just take the number and then minus it from the larger number that you're training up. Now, gathering resources on day 3 here for us. This is another trick that I'm going to let you know about. Right here, I've already preset it up, so they've gathered their node and they're holding the resources, and I'm holding them outside of the city. So you would do this with all 5 of your legions. You would max out what they can gather. You would try and max out what they can gather here, so you can gather more. And then you want to pop them all at once for your gathering. And then don't forget to also use right here 24-hour enhanced gathering. So that's another thing that you're wanting to pop there. Is make sure you pop that and just increase your gathering speed by 50% for 24 hours. So that's going to gain you a bunch of points there. Ultimately, gathering and defeating Dark Legions won't gain you a lot of points. If you're in Season 1 for Dark Legions, for the first 2 Strongest Lords, you'll probably spend your extra CP bags there. But honestly, I would spend my CP bags on the first and second Strongest Lord during the Darkling events. You're not going to gain very many points. See, you can only see, like, I was ranked 52 here. I gained 342 points. But overall, I've still gained all my points from troop training. I was ranked 11th for gathering resources as well. And so I didn't really do the best there either. But you can see it doesn't really gain you that many points overall. And then here I've gained almost 1,600 so far points, ranked 27. There's no point in me spending too many speed ups on today. But if you go here, you can see who's gaining the most points. So that's daily. And then you check out the second tab here, and you can see where you're placing overall. So as you can see right now, I'm at 34,700. 34,700,000 points versus Bren's 29 million. So I'm just keeping a little bit of a slush there in case Bren tries to push really hard on day 5. So we've got 31 minutes, and I'm still in the lead there. So that's kind of how that looks and doing that. So battle rankings open for day 6. So a shorter video for you today, but that's just a couple tips and tricks on how to do that. I mean, defeating Darkling Legions, it's super basic and simple. You just want to use 2 Legions, a tank, and then your strongest DPS. The more you can chain, the better it is. And it's really easy now because you can chain with auto. So, you know, you can cast, you know, super quick, super easy. So, anyways, hopefully that taught you guys a bit more on a couple tips and tricks on how to compete for Strongest Lord so you can get those juicy tokens on the champion that you're looking for.